Previously on the last review. Who are you? What have you done with Chief?
Looks like the game is over. I was hoping I would slip out without being noticed.
Ah,
Don't tell me. A prime that can shapeshift?
Before I lend you my power, I have a simple favor to ask. The favor is simple. All you have to do is play with him. Should you accept him, I shall grant you a portion of my power. I promise you won't be disappointed.
Alright, Skullgrin, let's see what you can do.
So, does he have some potential?
Yeah, I'm actually really impressed with him.
I take it you'll accept him.
Certainly, welcome to the army.
Very well. I shall grant you my power. But I'll let Skullgrin do the honors.
Skullgrin like you, but Skullgrin think you look better as a toy. Behold, granting you new power. Nang, watch out!
Ah,
Nang,
what just happened?
I present you the new Khan.
I'm a toy?
I can't believe it.
Whoa, you look really different, Papa.
Fascinating. You perceive yourself as a warrior. I think it suits you.
What exactly did you do?
Skullgrin basically gave him an alt mode. I guess you could say it's equivalent to a transformation, but it's more of a disguise.
You're a pretender, just like Skullgrin.
A pretender? Oh, this is gonna take some time to get used to.
Hey, but I kind of like it. It's almost kind of like an alter ego. Oh, does that mean you can actually play with us now?
Don't be ridiculous. I'm not sure if I understand how this is gonna help us.
In time, you'll understand. I trust you'll use my power wisely, Khan. Should you ever want to disguise yourself as a toy, just imagine yourself as one. And whenever you feel like coming back to being a human, just think human thoughts. It's pretty simple.
I'll remember that.
Skullgrin, want to play? Play with new toy. Oh, no you don't. Nang, Vortex, we're gonna have a meeting. Now.
Yes, sir.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It is Khan. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I'm the fabulous leader of the Decepti-KHAN army, and today we're going to be checking out the mysterious pretender Skullgrin here from the Among Us Prime review. So at the very end of the Among Us Prime review, it looks like one of the primes, Among Us himself, has granted me this guy. So I don't know too much about Skullgrin because I think he's from the comics, right? So as I know he's from like G1, I think he's from like the G1 series, but I think he's more prominent in the comics, and I've never read the comics before. There's one thing that I did find out when I was researching him. Apparently he's a cinema star, so he's got a little bit of some filming, acting experience, but as you know, this is our modeling agency and we're looking for models. So you guys, we're gonna turn Skullgrin from a cinema star to a supermodel, and I'm really excited because I think this guy has a lot of potential. Like, look at this. Look at how amazing he's already going to be. Like, he looks like he's ready to go. So let's go ahead and dive right in and see what Skullgrin can do as a model. All right, here is Skullgrin, and let's go ahead and get started with his articulation. So I'm going to go ahead and start off with the head. So Skullgrin can look left and right. He can also look very far up, and he can also look down. And I did actually test to make sure that his head does rotate all the way around. So yeah, he definitely looks really demonic once you turn his head all the way around. His horns are actually articulated, so they do actually move and fold over. So you can actually have his horns like covering his eyes if you like. His arms can rotate all the way around. You could twist his arms. He has elbow bend. He could do a T-pose. He He doesn't have any hand rotation, but you can bend his hands inwards due to his transformation. He has waist rotation. He can kick forward, and he can also kick backwards. I did test to make sure that he can actually do the splits. So yes, he actually can do the splits. He has knee bend. You could rotate his legs at the thighs. No foot rotation, but he does have ankle tilt. And lastly, I took off his backpack earlier. On his backpack, when you put it on, he does actually have this little tail that you can actually move up and down. It's really cute that he has a little tail that he has. So that kind of takes care of his articulation. So Skullgrin comes with 2 swords, and he also has 2 cannons that he has attached to his back. I'll start off with his swords first, and basically they're pretty much identical, so it doesn't really matter which sword that you slot in his left or right hand. And of course, you can actually have him hold one sword, and you can also have him dual wield both swords if you like. When you're done with the swords, you can actually attach them to the back. So this is kind of where the guns would go for storage, but you can actually take off the guns from his backpack, and you can put his swords back here just like this. Or if you want, you can also put the swords on his shoulders. Like he now has like literal shoulder blades. That's really what it is. It's like he has like literal shoulder blades. So you could definitely kind of place the swords up here if you would like to. And earlier, as I mentioned, he does carry 2 cannons basically. So by default, he should have the cannons attached to him when you first get him out of the box. So the cannons are actually removable, so you can take them out and then you can slot them in his hands just like this. And just like the swords, you can also put the cannons on his shoulders if you like. I actually don't know which way they're supposed to go, so I figure I can show you both the ways that the cannons can sit on his shoulders. So yeah, this is just kind of an alternate spot where you can also put the cannons on Skullgrin. And last but not least, I guess you could say his backpack, which is actually the piece as the tail, could be kind of accessory because you can take it off if you need to. So I'm going to kind of make it sort of accessory since it is removable. And again, this backpack piece is kind of where you can store the 2 cannons or the swords. And it's also how you attach the tail. So I guess you could play pin the tail on the donkey, or in this case, pin the tail on the Minotaur, I guess. He does kind of look like a Minotaur. I did see if Skullgrin could equip the other set of swords. Basically, these are Black Dragon swords. So the swords are a little bit kind of thinner than his current swords. I mean, I kind of want to see if he can actually equip these. And surprisingly, he can actually hold them. So I actually don't know if he looks better with katanas or if he looks better with, his main weapons. But he still looks really awesome with swords, though. I think he looks really great with swords. Next up, I have him equip Barricade's guns. And interestingly, they definitely fit really nicely with him. They definitely have a really nice click or snap once you get it in. And once you do, he is practically ready to go. Again, I feel like this is kind of one of those comparisons if I wonder if he looks better with other character weapons versus his own main weapons. But either way, he definitely looks like a badass with these weapons. And just for fun, I did actually see if he could hold Solus's hammer. Yep, he could definitely hold Solus's hammer, though I couldn't get him to hold it with both hands, but it's still kind of fun that he can actually hold it with one hand. And lastly, I want to see if he can hold Novocaine and Freezer, and here he is actually holding the 2 Terracons in both of his hands. Oh yeah, see, Skullgrin looks great with every weapon that I gave him. He looks absolutely great with every weapon. Okay guys, it is that time. It is time to see if I could transform Skullgrin into his vehicle mode. So here are the instructions. So I have to say, he's a very interesting figure to transform. I was actually kind of wondering how they're going to stow away his entire head into his vehicle mode. And it's very interesting, all right? It's very interesting how they were able to put his head away. But yeah, I was actually really surprised how this transformation turned out. I'm going to go ahead and show you my transformation attempt on Skullgrin here. So here it is. Alright guys, here is Skullgrin's transformation, and he looks pretty complete actually. So this was actually definitely a success. I do have his cannons and his sword attached so that he looks pretty complete. Yeah, I was actually really kind of surprised because he was actually a lot easier than I thought he was going to really be. I do like that you can actually rotate his cannons. So I do actually kind of like that the backpack is still, you can still move it around. So at least you can kind of still, make it look like he's ready to shoot some enemies down. You can take the swords off if you would like, but I kind of feel like he seems a little incomplete if you take them off. But this is what he looks like if you took off the swords. It was also kind of interesting on how you tuck his head into the chest. I wasn't sure how they were going to hide his entire head, but interestingly, you can still see his head from down below. So seeing that I was able to transform him, what would you give the difficulty for Skullgrin? I kind of give him somewhere between a 2.5 and a 3, or I guess 2 to 3 on the difficulty. I think it was pretty easy, but I think the one area that I really hated doing was the legs. It's always the legs, you guys. I don't know why it's always the legs, but I think it was just like taking out the treads out and then, attaching I think it's like attaching like one of the tread wheels to his arms. Because like when I was like transforming him, he wasn't really straight. So I had to like figure out how to get him kind of straight. He was kind of slightly bent a little bit. So I wasn't really kind of sure like why he was kind of at an angle. So I think that's kind of where I got kind of stuck, was trying to get him a little more straightened out so that I can get the treads to connect. I mean, overall, transforming was actually pretty easy, but then transforming him back was kind of a bit tricky, especially because you have to fold the treads back into his legs. Because one other thing, too, is that his head also got kind of stuck when I was trying to revert him back into robot mode. But otherwise, that takes care of my transformation attempt on Skullgrin. So what do I think of Skullgrin? Or at least, what are some things that I can kind of comment on, critique? I will say I was very blown away with him, all right? Like, his articulation combined with his posing is phenomenal. And especially with the weapon testing, like, he can equip all sorts of different things and still rock it out. I definitely really like him. I think he definitely blew me away. Really blew me away. I wasn't sure what to expect of this guy, especially because this toy is like pretty old, but I actually was really impressed with him, actually. Very impressed. So overall, there's probably only a few things I would like to kind of comment on, and it might be kind of hard to kind of see on this figure. I know, I don't know if I really want to zoom in on his crotch, but I'll try to get better shots here. Some areas like on the crotch and even like up in the shoulders, there are certain areas on him where I feel like the paint is a little bit questionable. I don't know. I feel like the paint on it's kind of questionable because I feel like it's either that like it's not painted all the way or that it looks like it's kind of chipping off. I think I was watching Prime versus Prime's video about like on this figure. He did made a comment about the paint on the weapons kind of like chipping off a little bit, and I definitely kind of see that a little bit. When he was like reviewing Skullgrin and he was examining the weapons, like they looked like they were really flexible, very rubbery, but mine doesn't really kind of feel that. They feel kind of stiff. Safe to say, I can confirm that I do see a little bit of the paint chipping on the handles on the swords here. Yeah, I'm just kind of examining him a little more to see if there was any other weird areas where the paint looks like it might be coming off. I mean, it's kind of minor, but it kind of looks a little messy because from a distance, it looks fine. But when you examine him a little bit, you kind of see it looks like it's kind of chipping off a little bit. Probably the only other thing I can comment on, but I think I remember reading on the wiki that the toy was originally supposed to have a mouth. Because if you do lift his head up, you see how there's like this giant gap in here, like this giant cavity here. I think he was supposed to originally have a mouth, and it would have been nice if he did actually had a mouth or a movable jaw, or even just having a jaw to close that whole gap. But still, it would have been nice if they did integrated that into this toy, because he does kind of look like he's missing something. He does kind of look like he's missing something, all right, but I guess that's kind of like the only other thing that I can only comment on. Also, I want to kind of add one more thing to critique section, but his hand does kind of pop off sometimes. I don't know why it pops off, but this is actually I think this might be the second or third time that his hand has came off when I was trying to like equip stuff on his hand. It is sometimes kind of tricky to put it back, but I have noticed that sometimes if I do play with his hands a little too much, they do kind of pop off. I don't know if anyone else has kind of had that issue, but yeah, this is kind of another thing that has kind of happened with his hands. Maybe this is why he doesn't have wrist rotation, is because of this. Because, everything else about him is really good, though. Although, I will say that his horns, like, because they're articulated, they do kind of, like, especially when you're just moving his head, they do kind of move on their own a little bit without even trying. So, but yeah, I do think that he is a very solid figure, though. Very solid with the articulation, really great posing. And I do really kind of like his appearance too. Like, again, like, although I don't know too much about this character, I already have a really good soft spot for him already. Like, I think he'd be a great desk buddy. I think he's going to make a great supermodel on our channel, though. So do I recommend Skullgrin? And I absolutely do recommend him. I think he's a great desk buddy, but he's also a great buddy to have in general because he's got really great articulation, really great posing ability, and overall I had a blast with him too. Really easy transformation, very beginner friendly. Whether you like, the Decepticons or the Autobots, or if you're a fan of the Pretenders, I definitely recommend him. So I actually got him on TF Source, but I'm pretty sure you could get him on Big Bad Toy Store as well. They might still have some copies of him somewhere. So yeah, I definitely would recommend this guy. Okay guys, that wraps up my review on Skullgrin. So I'm gonna go ahead and have Skullgrin wave goodbye here. So go ahead and wave goodbye to everybody. If you guys like this review, make sure to leave a like and also subscribe to my channel if you're new here. And I shall see you guys on the next review, alright? So have a good night, guys.